Congratulations! If this message reaches you before October 14, then you must know without a shadow of a doubt that you have been chosen to hear a word that carries eternal power and divine purpose. This is not an accident. This is not a coincidence. This is not just another random video that appeared on your screen. This is God Himself reaching into the very rhythm of your life, cutting through your distractions, piercing through your noise, and saying, "My child, it is time. I am speaking to you. I am preparing you. I am calling you." When God allows a word to meet you at a specific moment, it means He has already prepared the soil of your spirit for the seed of truth to take root. And if your heart is open to this message before October 14, then hear me. Heaven has already written something in your story that no man, no situation, and no darkness can erase. This very moment is sacred. Treat it with reverence, because the difference between wandering and walking in destiny often depends on whether you recognize divine timing when it calls your name. Many people spend their lives overlooking the signs, ignoring the whispers, and walking away from the doors God opens before them. But you, yes, you who are hearing this right now, God has chosen to speak to you in this hour. He is not waiting until next week. He is not waiting until next year. He is saying now is your time. Now is your moment. Now is the beginning of your awakening. If this word finds you before October 14, it is a divine signal that your life is about to align with what God already decreed over your future. God never speaks without intention. Every word carries a purpose. Every message has a target. And when heaven decides that a message should reach you before a certain time, it means your story is about to shift into a new season. October 14 is not just another date on the calendar. It is a threshold. It is a turning point. It is the door between what has been and what is yet to come. And if this word has reached you before that door opens, it means God is preparing you to step forward without falling, to rise without fear, and to be built where life once tried to break you. Ask yourself, why do you think God sets times and seasons? Why does He remind us there is a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to begin and a time to end? Because nothing under heaven is random. Your pain was not random. Your waiting was not meaningless. Your struggle was not wasted. Every tear you cried was counted. Every night you spent questioning was seen. And when your spirit is ready for the next chapter, God always sends a word, a sign, a call to rise. That is what this message is for you today. For too long you've carried questions heavy on your heart. You've asked, when will things finally change? When will I see the breakthrough? When will my pain make sense? When will my prayers be answered? And God is whispering now. The time is nearer than you think. The answer is closer than you believe. The shift is already approaching your doorstep. But you must understand this. Divine timing demands spiritual readiness. If you walk into a season without preparation, you risk missing what was meant for you. That's why this word has reached you before October 14. God is giving you early notice. He's saying, prepare your heart, align your thoughts, silence your distractions, and focus your faith. I am about to move. Some of you have been asking for a sign, but the truth is, God has already sent many. You were too busy, too distracted, or too hurt to recognize them. But this time, God is making it unmistakable. He's speaking clearly, saying, no more delays, no more hesitation, no more fear. You cannot stay in what I have already called you out of. You cannot keep replaying the past when I have written your next chapter. You cannot remain hidden when I have destined you to shine. Listen closely. You have been preserved for this moment. You have been carried through storms that should have destroyed you. You have been shielded in ways you didn't even see. There were times when the enemy planned to crush you, but you're still here. There were moments when you thought it was over, but you survived. And now, here you are, breathing, standing, and hearing this message because God refused to let your story end before His promise came to pass. The fact that you are alive to hear this is proof that the enemy's plans already failed. What was meant to bury you has become the soil that will help you rise. Do not doubt what God is about to unfold. You might not see visible change yet, but that doesn't mean God isn't moving. He often works in silence. Seeds grow in the dark long before they break through the surface. Likewise, God has been working behind the scenes, arranging, aligning, preparing, and positioning everything for your breakthrough. And now He says, watch, because this season of hidden growth is about to become a season of visible transformation. But when God begins to elevate you, remember this, not everyone will celebrate your rise. Some will misunderstand you. Some will doubt you. Some will envy you. That's why God often isolates you before He promotes you. He pulls you away from those who can't handle your destiny. He removes distractions that drown out His direction. He breaks the crutches you've leaned on so that when you rise, you'll know it wasn't chance. It wasn't luck. It was Him. That is why timing matters. If you're hearing this before October 14, take it seriously. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine calling. God is saying, get up. Shake off your excuses. Step out of fear. I am ready to move if you are ready to trust. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. They will never come. Faith is stepping when you cannot see the full path because you trust the one who created it. Faith is obedience even when it doesn't make sense. God is asking you to surrender deeper, to let go of what is comfortable, to reach for what is eternal, to stop focusing on what's missing and start walking in what's promised. Stop living in the shadow of what was lost and start preparing for what is coming. You might say, I'm not ready. I'm not worthy. I'm not strong enough. But hear this truth. No one God calls is ever ready in human terms. But when God chooses you, He equips you. When God calls you, He strengthens you. When God sends you, He covers you. Do not measure yourself by your own weakness. Measure yourself by God's limitless strength. Do not measure your future by your past mistakes. Measure it by God's eternal plan. And if you think your mistakes disqualify you, let me remind you, God is a master at turning brokenness into beauty. He takes the shattered pieces of your story and uses them to build something unshakable. The scars you carry are not signs of defeat. They are proof that you survived. And what you survived becomes the very testimony that carries power for others. God does not waste pain. Every trial you endured has prepared you for the mantle you are about to carry. Before October 14, you must decide, will you believe God or will you doubt Him? Will you step into faith or remain chained by fear? Will you prepare your spirit for breakthrough or will you sleep through the alarm God has sounded? The choice is yours. God has already declared the promise. But you must choose to walk into it. You must choose to align with it. You must choose to believe. Do not think lightly of this moment. This is a prophetic interruption. God has stopped you here because He wants your undivided attention. And I say again, congratulations, for if this word has found you before October 14, It means you are on the verge of a divine unfolding that will exceed your imagination. Doors will open that were once sealed shut. Relationships will be realigned. Opportunities will arise that you did not seek. Strength will come that you did not know you had. And most of all, the presence of God will overshadow you in ways you have never experienced before. Lift up your eyes, because what is coming is greater than what has been. Lift up your spirit, because God is nearer than you realize. Lift up your faith, because this is not just another season. This is your appointed time. And if this message reached you before October 14, then heaven has already written your name into the next chapter of God's unfolding plan. Congratulations. If this message reaches you before October 14, you are standing on the threshold of a sacred turning point in your destiny. Do you understand the gravity of that? Many scroll through life endlessly, numb to divine whispers, deaf to spiritual alarms, and blind to the signals of heaven. But you right now have been arrested by a message not crafted by man's intention, but carried by God's timing. This is not mere coincidence. This is God's deliberate hand. He has intercepted you in the flow of your ordinary routine because He has chosen to deposit something extraordinary into your spirit. If your heart is beating as you hear this, it is because the eternal God is summoning you into a deeper awareness of His purpose for you. Before October 14, the heavens are realigning things in your life. You may not see it with natural eyes, but the movement has already begun. God shifts seasons long before the world notices them. The air changes before the leaves fall. The tide moves before the waves crash. Likewise, God has been quietly stirring behind the curtain of your life, repositioning people, closing doors that no longer serve you, and opening paths that lead to your divine assignment. And if you are hearing this message now, it means you are on the front edge of this shift. God is telling you in advance so you will not be caught unprepared. You must understand something vital. God's timing is not man's timing. While people operate on clocks and calendars, God operates on seasons and purposes. October 14 is not just another date in the human calendar. It is a prophetic marker in your life's timeline. If you treat it as ordinary, you will miss its extraordinary meaning. If you prepare, however, you will step into it with clarity, strength, and courage. Too many let divine opportunities pass them by because they thought tomorrow would look like today. But God is saying to you now, tomorrow will not look like today. Tomorrow is pregnant with transformation, and you must ready yourself to deliver it. Think of how God has always moved. He called Noah before the rain fell. He directed Abraham before the journey began. He warned Joseph before the famine struck. He never leaves those He chooses without a word of preparation. That is what is happening here. This word is your preparation. You have been asking God for clarity, for direction, for a sign. This message is your answer. It is your warning and your promise wrapped in one. It is God saying, I am about to unfold a chapter you have never seen before. But I will not let it catch you unaware. I am giving you notice. I am instructing you now. And what is He asking of you? He is asking for surrender. Not a half-hearted surrender that only offers Him what is convenient, but a total surrender of your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, and your plans. God does not ask for partial trust. He asks for complete trust. He asks you to let go of the grip you have on your own understanding and to lean fully into His wisdom. Some of you have been holding on to control so tightly that your hands are bleeding. Yet God says, release it. Place it in my hands. Let me carry what you were never built to carry. But here is the truth. Surrender is not weakness. Surrender to God is strength. Surrender does not mean losing. It means finally winning where it matters most. When you surrender to God, peace that flows, you step out of the fragile safety of your own plans and into the unshakable covering of His will. When you surrender, you stop striving in circles and begin moving in straight lines. When you surrender, you stop surviving and start thriving. God cannot fill hands that are clenched tightly around what He is asking you to release. He cannot pour into a vessel that refuses to be emptied. And that is why He calls you now before October 14 to loosen your grip, to open your heart, and to allow His Spirit to flow freely through you. Do not underestimate what God wants to accomplish in you. Too many have been tricked into believing that their life is small, insignificant, or overlooked. But God says, I have placed eternity within you. I have written greatness into your DNA. I have woven purpose into your very breath. You are not an accident of birth. You are not a mistake of circumstance. You are a deliberate design of God. And if He has preserved you until now, it is because your story is still unfolding. Every setback you endured was not to destroy you, but to shape you. Every disappointment was not meant to break you, but to build you. Every storm you survived was a training ground for the authority you are about to walk in. And I tell you this before October 14, God wants you to awaken to the reality of who you are in Him. Not who the world says you are. Not who your failures say you are. Not who your fears whisper you are. Who God declares you to be. He calls you chosen. He calls you set apart. He calls you appointed. You are not defined by the labels men gave you. You are defined by the identity God stamped on you before you were even born. And the time has come for you to rise and live in that identity with boldness, conviction, and unwavering faith. But let me speak with clarity. This awakening will not come without resistance. When God prepares to elevate you, forces of opposition will always rise. Do not think it's strange if you encounter sudden obstacles, strange warfare, or unexplainable tension. It is not a sign that you are off course. It is proof that you are standing on the edge of breakthrough. The closer you move toward destiny, the more fiercely darkness tries to push you back. But remember this, no weapon formed against you will prosper when God's hand is upon you. The enemy may form the weapon, but God has already stripped it of its power. He may roar like a lion, but he cannot touch what God has sealed. Your survival until this very moment is evidence that God's covering over you is greater than any force against you. And this is why you cannot afford to enter this new season carrying the weight of old pain, old grudges, old fear, or old doubt. They cannot walk with you into October 14. They are chains meant to keep you grounded when God is calling you to rise. Let them go. Forgive where you need to forgive. Release what you've been holding. Close the chapters that have already ended. The new cannot come while you are clutching the old. God is saying, I am ready to give you new oil, new strength, new vision. But you must empty yourself of yesterday's residue. There are moments in history when everything changes. Moments when nations are reshaped, destinies are redirected, and lives are rewritten. October 14 is one of those moments for you. It is not just another date on the calendar. It is a divine turning point, a holy interruption, a spiritual gateway. And if you're hearing this before that day, it means God has trusted you enough to prepare you in advance. Not everyone will hear. Not everyone will receive. but you have been chosen to be awakened before it happens. This is not coincidence. It is divine orchestration. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, stand firm in faith, because the God who carried you through storms is about to carry you into promise. The same God who held you when you were broken will now place your feet on higher ground. The same God who saw your tears in silence will now crown you with joy in the morning. And when it happens, you will know with absolute certainty that it was not luck, not chance, not coincidence, but the hand of God moving in your life. If this message has found you before October 14, take it as confirmation. God Himself has chosen to speak directly into your soul. So here is your call to action. Purify your heart. Silence the noise that keeps you from hearing God clearly. Let go of every distraction that has dimmed your light. Forgive those who hurt you. Release the burdens that never belonged to you. Above all, trust. Trust with a faith that does not shake. Trust with a surrender that brings peace. Trust with a courage that refuses to bow to fear. Stand before God tonight, tomorrow, and in the days leading to October 14, and declare with your whole being, I am ready. I am surrendered. I will not miss what you have appointed for me. Let these not be empty words, but a cry from the depths of your soul. God has preserved you, chosen you, and now He calls you to step into destiny with His strength within you. And as you move into this new season, remember this truth. The same God who commands the stars and sets the oceans in motion is walking beside you, within you, and ahead of you. Do not shrink back. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Step forward with conviction. Your appointed time has come. Go forth not as the person you were, but as one awakened, empowered, and unshakably anchored in God. Let your life become a living testimony that when God speaks and His child believes, nothing in heaven or on earth can stop the unfolding of His divine plan. Now the call rests with you. Will you rise? Will you believe? Will you surrender? If this word has reached you before October 14, then heaven already celebrates your answer.